Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum, and welcome to TechByte on Salam Media. My name is Faizel Patel. Inshallah, I will be in your company until about 7:30 p.m. on this Sunday evening. Once again, Jazakallah so much for tuning in to the program. I really appreciate all the feedback and all the support that I've been getting from the Salam Media family and all of you watching at home. Remember, you can interact with me by sending me a tweet on at Faizel Patel 143. I'm on Instagram at Faizel Patel 143, on Facebook.com/Faizel Patel, and I'm also on YouTube where most of the videos are, the reviews and unboxings, and many other stuff. So you can check it out there on Faizel Patel 143. Now, I did get a question last week from a listener. Jazakallah so much for sending in that question. I will detail it in the next video or the next broadcast, inshallah. This is with regards to zooming in on a picture of a specific area. It's unfortunate. I just want to give you the details, but I'm going to try my best. So the user basically wanted me to zoom in on a picture that was taken of a specific area. Unfortunately, if you're going to zoom in, and if it was taken at very low resolution, to zoom in, and if you make it bigger, it's going to become grainy or it's going to become noisy. Now, when you see grainy, is basically you can see it becoming pixelated, where you can see individual pixels, and alternatively, it will become grainy, where it becomes a lot of noise. It means there's a lot of other things in the picture that really doesn't make sense. But I'm going to try, and I'm going to see if I can find resources to make it basically clearer, inshallah, for the particular user, and I will revert back. So Jazakallah to that particular person for sending in me the question. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, Abu Bakr Karva that sent in the question. So Jazakallah to Abu Bakr for sending in that question. Inshallah, I'm going to try my best to actually assist you wherever I can. Coming up in the show today, we're going to be speaking about Fujifilm's new camera, which is the Instax Mini 12 camera, and the Upprint Scan app, right? And then Google, basically, they now open applications for third cohort of Black Founders Fund for startups. So if you got a brilliant tech idea, and if you got a idea for a startup, maybe you can contact Google. And then we have the Mobile World Congress, and Honor unveiled two new phones there. So we're going to be speaking a little bit about that. And if you're a TikTok person, if you like TikTok like myself, well, you're going to be a bit sort of apprehensive. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but basically TikTok is adding screen time limits for young users. We're all addicted to TikTok, including myself. I'm not addicted, but I do sort of have a habit of checking out TikTok when I'm in bed, maybe just a few minutes or so, about an hour or so. Sometimes I pick up some of my news stories that I do for the citizen from TikTok, and it sort of gives you like a hints up from what other people haven't got at the moment. So it's a good news source, inshallah, but also sometimes it can be mischievous, and there's a lot of other stuff, depending. And I just want to echo the words of Mullah Suleiman Mullah that knowledge or TV or anything can be used to broadcast deen or propagate deen, or it can be used for other purposes. And same way for TikTok as well, I can use it for news and try to gather news, and you can use it for other purposes. And the same thing with a gun as well. In a gun in the hands of a policeman can be used to fight crime, but in the hands of a criminal can be used to commit crime. But anyway, without further ado, let's go to the first story for this evening, and that is the Fujifilm. Now, I don't know about you, I still love the old school. Although you have the EOS digital cameras, SLRs, and many others, sometimes it's good to see a photograph pop out immediately after you take a photo, and that's the Fujifilm Instax cameras. I do have a few, and like I said, you don't have to take photos of animate objects, animate being live people, animals, that kind of stuff. Although some people do that, but you can also take photos of inanimate objects. I love taking photos of flowers, of insects, specifically bees. I've got a nice little photo I took of a bee that was pollinating a flower in absolute clarity. But the Instax cameras, as I mentioned, they produce results immediately. So Fujifilm South Africa has unveiled the Instax Mini 12. This is the latest model in its popular entry-level instant cameras. That's old school. Remember our parents used to take photos of us, and you take the film comes out, and then you shake it until it comes out. Now they've obviously bettered and improved on this. So the Instax Mini 12 caters for a variety of shooting photographic opportunities, which includes rotating the lens one step on the Mini 12, activates a close-up mode, perfect for close-up shots and even selfies for those that like to take selfies. And you can see the Instax camera, that comes in wonderful colors. This is just sort of the lilac or the purple color. So I love these. They're actually quite nice, right? Users can now capture close-up shots without having to shift the center point seen through the viewfinder. And coming on to printing, the Instax Mini 12 also boasts faster printout speeds from the point of pressing the shutter. When taking a picture with the Instax Mini 12, the print appears in just about 5 seconds. That's it. That's all it takes, 5 seconds from the time of pressing the shutter button. So it's very, very quick. It takes approximately 90 seconds before the image is fully developed. That's about a minute and a half. So it comes out in 5 seconds, and about a minute and a half, you have a fully sort of developed picture. Now, the Fujifilm Mini 12 features automatic exposure, where the camera automatically determines the correct exposure for a given scene. So sometimes bright light, sunshine, darkness, whatever it is. Pricing and availability, well, the Mini 12 will be available in 5 tone colors, namely lilac, as you've seen on your screen, purple, pastel blue, blossom pink, mint green, and clay white. Now, while the Instax Mini 12 will launch in Japan on the 16th of March, availability in South Africa, and the local pricing are yet to be disclosed. And then Fujifilm also unveiled a new app, and this app is called Up. That's UP, and it's for Android phones and iOS devices, meant for Instax users. So if you've got an Instax camera and you can download this app, this is for people who want to create digital versions of their prints to share with friends on social media, and it's a free download. There's no charge for the app, which can be used to digitize Instax prints taken with Instax cameras and smartphone printers, including mini, square, and wide formats. Scanning. So basically what you need to do is, using the app, users can scan Instax prints, including frames, on their smartphone, right? There's also the ability to create a photo in photo by combining a scanned Instax print with a favorite background, or compiling a collection of original prints laid out freely to suit users' artistic preferences. The Up app is available for download from Apple iOS Store and Google Play Store. So if you got an Instax camera, please do check it out. And if you got some photos that you want to put and digitize them, then you can scan using this particular app. All right, let's come on to our second story for this evening, and this is with regards to Google. Now, we know that startups are very, very important. They come up with brilliant ideas, and startups include the likes of Microsoft, and you can call it the likes of Google, Facebook, and many others. Apple was founded in a garage by Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs, the late Steve Jobs. Steve Wozniak is still around, and they developed the Apple I computer, and look where Apple is today, right? Even with Microsoft, Bill Gates, and then also with Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, obviously finding Facebook, in a dorm room while he's at university. So let's speak about a little bit about Google. Tech giant Google has announced that applications for the third cohort of Black Founders Fund for startups have opened in Africa and Europe. So if you've got a brilliant idea, then you have to listen to the story. Maybe you can be the next Steve Jobs, or the next Steve Ballmer, or you can be the next Steve Wozniak, or even Mark Zuckerberg, right? Now, Google said it had committed $4 million. That equates to about 73 million rand to support eligible Black founders startups in 2023. That's this year. Now, the tech company also did say that startup operating and headquartered in Africa, having a big legal presence on the continent, were eligible to apply for the Black Founders Fund, right? Now, other eligibility criteria for those that are interested, for the startups that wish to apply, are that business should be benefiting the Black communities, or that early stage startups have Black founders or diverse founding teams. So if you a Black entrepreneur, or an Indian, or anybody, I can't understand the definition of Black, but I would assume it includes Indians as well. If you got a brilliant app, maybe you got something, a solution for load shedding, or maybe you got something that's in the pipeline that will really make a difference to the masses, those that are less fortunate, those that are living in impoverished societies, then maybe this is something you can look forward to if you need funding. And then basically, Google said the startup should be building for Africa and the global market. They have the growth potential to raise more funding, create jobs, and generally be making a measurable impact. Imagine if somebody could find a solution, a quick solution to potholes. There are like 33,000 potholes in Johannesburg only, or in Gauteng. Imagine you got those, like, like those little baking things where you just press the button and it fills up or something, or just I'm just thinking out loud here. Maybe you got like a thing that plops tie into this pothole, seals it, and done in a matter of like seconds. Maybe that is, you can use that as a funding. It will really help. So for Lauren Ayagabusi, head of startup ecosystem, Google Sub-Saharan Africa, said startups are critical driver of innovation, economic growth, and social progress, especially in Africa. With South Africa being grey listed, unfortunately, we're falling in the same category as Sudan and also as Zimbabwe and many other countries. Unfortunately, we really are struggling. I actually was having that conversation with my son in in Sunland Park today. It was his wife's birthday, and we're talking about this with his brother-in-law Abdullah and many others as well, about the direction South Africa is heading at the moment. South Africans are really finding it very, very difficult at the moment, with load shedding, high petrol prices, crime, and many others, potholes, distracted or destroyed infrastructure. I mean, just going to a different direction. But that's a discussion for another day. Now, upon selection, the startups will receive $150,000. That's about 2.7 million rand equity-free cash awards, and up to $200,000, about 3.7 million rand per startup in Google Cloud credits. Support in the form of training and access to network and mentors to assist in tackling the challenges unique to each startup. So something you can look forward to. I think it's quite exciting, especially if you've got a brilliant idea. It could be something, a solution to load shedding. Maybe you find a light that lasts you for like, 20 hours, or maybe something that can power the stove or something. I don't know. I'm not an inventor or have that ingenuity of other people who might come up with even more brilliant ideas. So something you can look at. So basically, by funding Black founders, Google is promoting job creation, wealth generation on the continent. This is what the company said. And the applications for the Black Founders Fund for startups can be found at a website. If you want to check that website out, go to thecitizen.co.za and look for the article called Google Opens Applications for Third Cohort of Black Founders Funds for Startups. And you can find the application for that if you are interested, on that particular story. All right, let's come on to smartphones. We know the Mobile World Congress is taking place at the moment. That's in Barcelona. And no doubt at this particular event, you're going to see some new innovative ideas, innovative smartphones, and many, many other stuff coming from there. And hopefully we will see some of those things actually make it into our pockets and in our hands. So global technology brand Honor has brought its dual flagship strategy to life and announced the global availability of the Magic 5 series and the Honor Magic VS smartphone. So two new devices. The devices were unveiled under the theme Tech to Inspire at the Mobile World Congress in 2023. Now let's start off with the Magic 5 series, and the Magic VS are the latest iterations to the successful Honor Magic series lineup. So let's go with the Magic 5 Pro first. It's packed with a whole host of significant upgrades. The all-round flagship Honor Magic 5 Pro boasts impressive breakthrough in design, display, photography, and performance. And everything these days is about photography. You can see the devices there. One is a foldable one, and the other one is a normal device. Look at the ring on the green one. It looks almost like the Mate 50 Pro. All right, but very nice. I love the colors as well. And the other one looks almost like the Samsung camera array, the new S23 Ultra. So they are looking nice. And the other one looks like the Samsung Galaxy Fold. So it's actually quite beautiful, right? Now, I don't know what you want basically phones for. People buy phones for different reasons. I buy phone because I love photography, I like sending messages, and that seems something powerful. So you want something that is good, well, able to meet your everyday demands. So design, adhering to the eye of Muse iconic design, the Magic 5 Pro evolves around the concept of redesigning, introducing the Star Wheel triple camera, as I showed you, as you see in the picture, the ring design. And then the display, give you a quick details on the display. It boasts a 6.1-inch LTPO display with a unique quad curved floating screen and delivers peak HDR brightness of 1800 nits. All right. Cameras, the Honor Magic 5 Pro has taken the first place in the TXO Mark Global Camera Ranking with a score of 152, making it the highest camera scoring smartphone tested to date. So camera-wise, it features a 50 megapixel wide camera, 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 50 megapixel telephoto camera. Coming on to privacy, the Honor Magic 5 Pro features a dual TE security system to co-developed with Qualcomm, and the chipset is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 mobile platform. And then a lot of people will be asking about battery. Well, it supports 66-watt wired and 50-watt wireless on a supercharge. The Honor Magic Pro packs with a super large 5100 mAh battery to deliver what Honor claims is a full day uninterrupted usage. Color pricing and availability. This is going to be obviously in euros, but you can do the math. I have done that for you. So the Honor Magic 5 series will be available starting of the second quarter of 2023. The Magic 5 will start at 899 euros, works out about 17,400. And then the Magic 5 Pro will start at 1199 euros, looking at about 23,230 rand there. And in the VS, which is the folding phone, the design, they speak about the Magic VS exceptionally slim and lightweight, measuring just about 12.9 millimeters thin and folded in 267 grams in weight. The hinge, that is very important, especially for foldable smartphones. It contributes to the lightweight of the Honor Magic VS. Is a hinge that Honor said has been carefully crafted using single-piece casting technology. I'm waiting for Jerry Rigg to actually check this out and see how durable this phone is. The hinge, they said, can stand up to 400,000 folds, as stated by TUV Rhineland, which is equivalent to more than 10 years of use based on 100 folds per day. Display, you're looking at basically a 6.45-inch external display, that's the outside of the phone, with a 21:9 aspect ratio and 90% screen to body ratio. It also features a dynamic dimming circadian night display. Cameras wise, 54 megapixel IMX 800 main camera, 50 megapixel ultra wide and macro main camera, and an 8 megapixel basically optical zoom camera. And then chipset, it's powered by a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 mobile platform from Qualcomm. Color pricing and availability, well, you know that it's going to be quite pricey as far as that is concerned. Offering two colorways, cyan and black. Cyan is looked like what I think a pinkish color perhaps. Black, the Honor Magic VS will be priced starting at around 1,599 euros. You're looking at about 30,982 rand, so about 31,000 rand there as well. So I like the foldable phones. I still have my Galaxy Z Fold 3, which I use all the time. A wonderful device, really helps me in my work that I do. But obviously, it's quite heavy, and foldables are actually getting better and hopefully soon cheaper as well. Right, and they are like tablets in your pocket. I mean, it's just amazing. But I still use my iPhone. I really do love the iPhone. Takes wonderful photos, and I'm still currently testing the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. You can see there. Look at the cameras, actually quite nice. The phone's battery is actually is flat at the moment, but I will have a review up for this soon. So check out my YouTube channel. All right, coming on to our last story for this evening. I know a lot of you surf on TikTok, so don't deny it, including myself as well. And, well, everybody does it, right? And the best part to do is when you're in bed relaxing and you're about to snooze off or doze off, and you go through quick TikToks, or maybe you're making your own TikToks as well. It's obviously become a phenomenal platform for business and for personal, and a lot of people will be adding their own videos, right? So basically last week, Wednesday, TikTok said it would introduce automatically daily screen time limits of 1 hour for accounts belonging to under 18. So yeah, under 18s, if you are watching the show, or parents, you are watching the show, well, you can go tell your teenagers, those that are under 18, that TikToks will be basically have a time limit on it as well. So as this comes as a social media platform faces criticism of its addictiveness among users. I don't think it's young users only that are basically addicted to TikTok. I even know some adults who sort of nonchalantly, and I mean this in a very benevolent way, nonchalantly even procrastinate at work to surf on TikTok. Obviously, if it starts affecting your work and your personal life and all that other stuff, then like an addiction, like any other addiction, drug addiction or whether it's other addictions, I think it can have an impact on your life. So, try to nip it in the bud before it really becomes a problem. So teenagers will have to enter a passcode to continue watching after 60 minutes, and those aged below 13 require a parent or guardian to set or enter passcode to release the additional 30 minutes. This is what TikTok said. Now, the short form video sharing app said the changes would be implemented in the coming weeks. They didn't give a specific date on it, but yeah, for the young users, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if I'm saying this to boast, but I think it's a concern, that if your child is spending a lot of amount of time on TikTok and not doing their homework or neglecting the homework, or even become aggressive at times because you tell them they need to come eat or they need to go to bed or need to shower, whatever it is, they become aggressive and you tell them that they need to switch your phone off. So if a young person, the access to TikTok is via a family pairing account, parents can set a maximum screen time for the child based on the day of the week. This is what TikTok added. The Chinese version of TikTok, Douyin, is restricted to 40 minutes of daily use for under 14s. It is accessible for them between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Now, the new feature, according to TikTok, adds existing measures to control young people's screen time, such as prompt introduced last year. It encourages teenagers to enable screen time management and a weekly inbox notification summarizing a user's screen time. Now, we know that, let's face it, right? If you're sitting at home and if you're a parent and if you're watching this, and no doubt there are a lot of you watching, okay, is that unfortunately that we've moved and evolved into a time where technology has become and has reached levels unprecedented that we've seen in yesteryear when we were kids. So when I was born, and all those that are watching, and those parents are in their 40s and 50s, we never had the sort of technology that we see now. The best technology that we could have was an Atari game that we would be glued to, or even a television set, and maybe those handheld games, Nintendo handheld games. Our time was spent outside playing cricket, until 7 o'clock, and your mother told you to rush in the house, and you would say, "No, mom, we're not coming in the house. It's a night game," and use the street lights to continue. What happened to cricket, like at those levels? What happened to marbles, to Keniki? Who remembers playing Keniki? And also about top. That day I was spinning a top in my yard, showing my kids, and they were like baffled. What are you doing? What is that? How can you put it onto your hand? Things like that. Or even yo-yos. Remember the Coca-Cola yo-yos, Sprite, and many others. And our kids have grown up without that. They don't know what is it to play in the street or to play soccer, to play in the park, that kind of stuff. That's how technology has obviously affected them. That's why we have to be very, very cognizant of controlling the technology we have. All right, so let's continue with that story. So basically, the new feature adds to existing measures to control young people's screen time. And then, according to a recent study by parental control app Custodio, minors spent an average of around 47 minutes on TikTok per day in 2022, which is a lot, right? Concerns about data protection in the West have also affected the site owned by Chinese ByteDance, where the European Union's institutions recently ordering their staff to purge the app from their devices. And to conclude, the White House has given U.S. federal agencies 30 days to remove TikTok from government-issued devices, and Canada has implemented a similar measure. So basically, that's the TikTok. And again, I just want to expound on that. I mean, with my kids, I make it a habit. There is time for technology. There is time to watch TV. There's even time to play games. I have an Xbox as well. And they even have phones, smartphones. But I have a little container. And I'm actually going to show you, because sometimes people may not believe me. So I have a little container in my drawer, in my office, right? Check this out, guys. There are 3 phones in here, if you can see carefully, right? And you can see the container has got a timer on here, right? So there's the phones in there. That's my children's phone. So we are nearing exam, and I take this phone and I lock it into this container, and it can't be opened. If I look at the container, it can be only opened up in 5 days' time. All right. So I obviously increase it until the exams are finished. Okay. But I need to limit them. They need to concentrate on exams. And when they come home and after they write exam, it's like, "Dad, I'm bored," and this. And our children make up all those excuses. Then I tell them, go play with the neighbor's son. Go play outside. Go run, jump, play soccer. Do what kids supposed to do. like we did in the old days. And thankfully, we got some wonderful neighbors. They've got a little boy. His name is Zaidi, and my kids love playing with him, and the little one Tilla as well. So they play with one another, even if it's just through the fence. But the idea is to get them out of the house, not them be addicted to technology. I'm not saying technology is bad. Don't get me wrong. Technology is good. It has created a smaller world for us. You can be sitting in Mecca, I can be sitting in South Africa, and are able to visually experience your tawaf around the Kaaba because maybe you got a phone and you're holding it up to me. In that way, to communicate is absolutely brilliant. But there is a point we need to throw when it comes to that. Time for salah, time for studying, time for personal time for privacy, time for spending time with family, sitting in a company with people. You don't want to be rude and sit on your phone. And kids, we need to grow them up with these kind of things. Let them enjoy the sport, physical sport, as opposed to just playing a soccer game on an Xbox or on a PlayStation. So those are just my thoughts and comments. Obviously, every one of you at home will have their own issues and stuff. A question coming through, not a question, but a comment by Shafinaz Hassam, saying we played a lot with neighborhood kids in the streets through just be back by Maghrib time. Indeed, and this is what we did today. I mean, my kids came back, they played with a neighbor today, and it was time for Maghrib. And you know how the older parents used to say, come in the house now, it's Maghrib time, and go read your salah, make wudu. So, I want to, I love technology, right? And I'm just going to go over a minute here. I hope my engineer can indulge me. So I love technology with all my heart. I mean, I love it. I have the latest cell phone and the latest gadgets and tech and everything, right? But at the same time, no matter how much I love technology, I also want to ensure that my children, and I hope your children at home, have a normal life. Now, a normal life would be a balance between life, technology, and fun. What I'm saying, let them play with the Xbox, let them play with the games, but limit it, balance it. But let them go play outside, run around with them in the yard, play chasing this, play Kenny Key, play what do you used to call it? King. When you used to throw one another with a tennis ball, play cricket, run around, take a walk. And that's what we need to obviously ensure that, basically our children do. So Jazakallah to Shafinaz for that particular message. And hopefully my message can resonate with you at home that we need to create a balance between technology and our children. Some of them are so young. I've seen children as young as 2 and 3 years old that when their parents take away their phone, they burst out and throw tantrums. If they're doing it at such an age, that is really, really scary. Anyway, dear viewers, Jazakallah so much for tuning in on this tech show on the Sunday evening. I make dua that you all have a wonderful and productive week. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you safe. Fill your homes and your houses and your families and all your rizq with barakah. We're just a few weeks away from the blessed month of Ramadan. We should be continuing and reciting the Quran. Put that Quran easy on the lips. Moisten your tongue with the beauty of the kalam of Allah, and let us prepare ourselves for Ramadan. So from myself, Faizel Patel, and my engineer for this evening, that's Brother Sadiq. Inshallah, I will be back next week with another installment of TechByte. Until then, fi amanillah.